Hi, y'all. Thanks for hanging out with me. I know the background looks a little strange. I'm actually in a hotel room in Salt Lake City, Utah. That's where we're holding the Constitution Party National Convention, to which I'm a delegate. I'm a member of a couple of committees here, and we're looking at making the Constitution Party nationally a more effective organization. So I'm honored to be a part of that. I'll also be speaking on Friday, and the topic of my discussion will be a strategic vision to restore the republic. But tonight, what we're talking about, I wanted to let y'all know I'm going to have to keep this short tonight because I'm supposed to be in a meeting right now. It's 3 o'clock here right now, and I'm supposed to be in a meeting. So we're going to have to keep this short. But this particular episode is called the West Virginia Ballot Ballet. So a lot of folks seem to be confused. Well, I say a lot, but a number of people have contacted me and said, "Hey, I'm sorry you didn't make it on the ballot. I really thought you were going to be on the ballot, but you're not on the ballot." Well, the thing is that I was never going to be on the ballot for the primary because the primary is only for Republicans and Democrats, and I'm neither of those. So you won't find your Libertarians, your Mountain Party, any of your other parties on the primary because the primary is solely for Republicans to choose their candidates and Democrats to choose their candidates. Nobody else gets to take advantage of it. Now, everybody else pays for it through your tax money, and they run it like it's the only game in town. But the simple fact is that, the primaries don't have anything to do with anyone other than the Republicans or the Democrat candidates. So to my friends who are concerned because they haven't seen my name on the primary ballot, my apologies. I should have made that clearer, that what we're doing is working to get my name put on the general election ballot. So the primary is for the Republicans and Democrats to choose their candidates, and then the general is for all of the voters to elect their new elected employees. So that's where the rubber really meets the road, is in November at the general election ballot. I will absolutely be on the general election ballot. We are halfway there. If you look on our website, it's just been updated so that it reflects that we have 3,700 validated signatures, which means we have a bunch that we've turned in that haven't yet been through the validation process. Currently, we're maintaining about an 86% validation rate. So for all the ones we turn in, about 86% of them are coming back acceptable and being accepted by the Secretary of State and counting toward our 8,000 signature goal. Now, we have some that have been turned in and have not yet been validated. We also have some that have not been turned in yet that we have on hand because our team is going through them and making sure that there is nothing about any of these signature sheets that will allow the Secretary of State's office to discount any of the signatures. So we're doing that first, which is why we have such a high validation rate, because our team is working really hard to make sure that everything is clear and that we're doing everything the right way. So having said that, we will have our 8,000 signatures and more by August 1st. We're on target to do that. The real issue is that there are some opportunities that our campaign will miss if we wait until August 1st. We need to go ahead and get this signature stuff taken care of. We need to get our 8,000 signatures turned in. Effectively, if every single person who has signed the petition so far would just get one other person to sign, we'd be done. Just one other person. That's all. We would be done. And we could move on to the winning the campaign phase of the election, or winning the election phase of the campaign, rather. And a big part of that is that there are people in West Virginia who stand for things that I believe in, who might offer their support. And I'm talking about, grassroots, not these corporate. I don't care about what the corporate entities do. They've got their own agenda. It has nothing to do with you or your rights or your kids' rights. But I'm talking about the freedom movement in various iterations of it. The Second Amendment, bodily autonomy, health freedom, education, liberty, things like that. All of those people are my natural friends, but they're not going to support a guy. The organizations are not going to support a candidate who can't prove that he's actually on the ballot. So what we need to do to become an effective fighting force this campaign is to go ahead and get those 8,000 signatures turned in. So another 4,000 Let's get her done and then move on to actually winning this campaign. So with proof that we're on the ballot, a couple of things we can do. I already mentioned getting the local grassroots lobbying organizations, and don't think lobbying is necessarily a dirty word. These are people who are looking out for your rights, who are lobbying on your behalf, on our behalf. So they're good folks, and we'll be able to work with them. But also, in addition to that, what we'll be able to do is the media will pay more attention to candidates who are on the ballot. So we'll get more media attention. I'm not a big guy who, really wants to be all famous and everything. That's not the point. The point is people need to know about the campaign. That's the issue. And of course, we'll be able to build more momentum once we actually can prove that we're on the ballot. People will take us more seriously. And I take this very seriously, but a lot of people say, well, come back and see me when you're on the ballot. Well, we're going to be on the ballot. Let's just keep moving. But anyway, that's what's going on here. So that's the ballot ballet that I'm talking about, is that we are dancing around trying to get these signatures when we could, if we could just go ahead and get the signatures. If y'all would just go ahead and help us get the signatures we need, because our team is working their tails off. They really are. And I've, the first quarter of this year, I drove over 8,000 miles within West Virginia, knocking doors, visiting with people, going to meetings, speaking, doing Q&As where people would hit me up and challenge me on various issues. So, what we need is we just need a little help from our friends out there to just print off one of these signature forms, or even better, print off 10 of them and go get people to fill them out. Each one will hold 10 signatures. If you can get 100 signatures, we're done. But frankly, if all of our friends would just get 5 signatures, we'd be more than done. So it's not like I'm asking you to, shovel in truckloads of cash, or like I'm asking you to pull your kids out of school so they can go knock doors for me. I'm not crazy. I know you have a real life. And, strangely enough, I do too. But I think this is important. And I think that most of you agree with me that it's important. And if you do, the primary issue we have right now is collecting 8,000 signatures. And, basically, all you have to do is ask the people who care about West Virginia, who care about constitutional governance, and just say, hey, this guy can make it happen. All you have to do is sign right here to give him permission to have his name put on the ballot. He's going to you for permission. So I really need y'all to do that. If you look over here in the comments, you'll see that I posted that. Right there is the link to the section of our website where you can just go and print off a signature form. That's it. Print off a signature form. You can make as many copies as you want, hand them out to friends, and ask them to get people to sign. We need to knock this part out so we can get on to the point that we can actually get on debate stages and get on the news and get interviewed, so that we draw the attention that we need. And the critical point is to be able to prove that we're going to be on the general election ballot. Now, I know we will, but what we need is verification, validation from the Secretary of State that that's what's going to happen. So to my friends who are concerned because I'm not on the primary ballot, not relevant, never was, don't worry about it. Let's drive on. The primaries are just for Republicans and Democrats. They suck up your tax money. They pay for their own candidate selection process. Everybody else who wants to select candidates has to do it the hard way. They have to pay for their own conventions. If they don't have ballot access yet, they have to gather all these signatures. So this is what we're doing. We're fighting the fight. And I know it's strange, and I know it looks like it's not as legitimate as a primary election, but that's only because the Democrats and Republicans, have structured the primary process so that it looks like a government process. It's not a government process. It is a private, it is 2 private entities using your tax money to execute the election of their candidates within their private parties, because their parties are private organizations. I hope y'all understand that. What we're doing is actually more righteous. It's more valid because we're going to you, the people. We're not going through this whole ballot process where we have to get certified by a bunch of people who have no interest in your. We're going straight to you, the people, and saying, we need your permission to be on the ballot. I'm not asking for the Republican Party or the government or the Democrat Party or even the Constitution Party's permission to be on the ballot. I'm asking for your permission to be on the ballot. Please help me get this knocked out so that we can move on to the phase where we are, discussing issues in the media. I can get up on the debate stage with the candidates for the other parties. And people are more likely to support both monetarily and with their vote and with their advice to friends and all of that stuff, with their moral support, someone who is actually on the ballot. So help me out with that. If any of you have any questions, I'm right here. I'm looking. I'm waiting for questions to pop up. I know I've said the same thing about 5 times, but that really is the message for right now. I'm going to have to get down here to this committee meeting in just a few minutes. But if you got questions for me, hit me up, please. And share this with your friends, because I think that there are actually people intentionally spreading information, misinformation, saying, well, Wilson's not on the ballot. Not on the ballot. He's not on the ballot. See, the primary election's coming up. He's not on the ballot, so he failed. But that's not the way it works at all. That's false. Hey, Miss Judy, thank you for requesting a signature. A signature sheet. I assume you did that through the website. You can do that at this link I've posted here, and I really appreciate you doing that. And thank you for going through the effort. It makes a difference. Every single signature is sacred, and we guard them. We have a lady on the campaign team who maintains physical security of them. She takes it very seriously. So much so that she's bent my ear a couple of times to say, you need to get those signature sheets you got in Berkeley County. You need to get them to me now before you lose them somewhere. And I don't lose them. But anyway, Catherine is very strict about her policies for maintaining physical accountability for the signature forms. They are gold. And we've got a gentleman named Scott on the team who goes through and he compares the information about on the signature sheet, we're required to collect your signature, your printed name, your birth date, your address. We don't share that with anyone. Okay. We don't publish that information. And the only people who see it are the people who actually handle those papers, and that's kept to a minimum. And then Scott reviews the information on the paper and then reviews what's in the voter rolls. And we have the Secretary of State's permission to clarify what's written on the sheet. So like if we have an address that looks like it's 118, but it's actually 178, Scott can kind of clean it up. But what he really does is he prints out an Excel spreadsheet for each single signature page that has the correct information from the voter roll that corresponds to each signature. And because of that, because Scott does that, and that's all legally and fine and acceptable, we don't mess with the signatures at all. We don't mess with the pages, except to, like I said, clarify what's on there if the handwriting's messy or whatever. But we have gone up to over an 86% validation rate, which is, I'm here at the Constitution Party convention in Salt Lake City, and I used that number a few minutes ago, and people turned their heads and they said, how in the world do you get validation for 86% of the signatures you turn in? And I said, Catherine and Scott make that happen. So if you would, just keep at it. Keep at it. Get us some signatures. This is what matters. I'm not asking you to write me a big check. I'm not asking you to, spend all your time with the campaign. I'm asking you to ask the people that you love, that love West Virginia, to just sign this piece of paper so my name can be printed on the ballot. That is really what's required at this point. And if we don't get this done sometime soon, none of the rest of the stuff that we're trying to do might matter. We're going to win this thing. I know that a lot of people think we can't, but frankly, over 30% of registered voters in West Virginia are not registered Republican or Democrat. Over 30%. That's awesome, Judy. That's exactly the folks that I think would want to have the opportunity to sign. Homeschool moms, folks who love people, love West Virginia, and love the Constitution. So, if anybody has any questions, if you don't, I think I'm going to sign off. But please share this with your friends. Share that link on the website. If you have to, make copies of the signature form and give it to them and tell them to get after it. But I want to give me just a second to do a bit of a disclaimer here. I'm not doing this because it's so important to me that I become governor. I want us to have a governor who will stand up for our rights, who will expose the corruption in our state government, who will dismantle the extraneous, the extra government that's not actually supposed to be there, and will actually refine the processes for each of the constitutional functions of government so that our government actually does what it's supposed to and it's accountable to us. Hey, Carla, that's a great idea. So this is not about me becoming governor. It's about us having a governor who will do the job. And I tell you what, if I honestly believe that any of the other candidates who have presented themselves so far would do the job that I think needs to be done, I'd withdraw from the election and support them. But I've done the analysis, and I don't believe anyone else will. Okay, so Thursday, July the 4th, I don't have anything on the calendar right now. So I love Ripley. Got some good friends out there. Let's go ahead and say that I'm going to be at the Ripley July 4th parade. And Independence Day. And if I may be so bold, Carla, could you be our contact person on the ground there? I'll just put you in touch with a member of the campaign team, and just to make sure that we've got all the bases covered. And one thing that I like to do is if I'm going to go somewhere and take part in any kind of an event, I also want to hold an event just for the people who want to come and see me. So, we could go have dinner. We could go hang out in the park. It doesn't matter to me, but to actually have some time talking with the people who want to see me, not just being in the parade. So I really appreciate that. I enjoyed the last time I was in the Ripley 4th of July parade. I know you will, ma'am. We're all doing our best, and I'm really grateful for it. All right, is there anything else? Because I'm supposed to be downstairs voting on important measures right now. All right, please help me out here, guys. I'm really trying to do a good job. I am expending my effort, my time. I'm not complaining. I'm grateful for this opportunity, and I'm honored. It's just gotten to the point now where all I can think is there are some opportunities that we will miss if we don't kick this into high gear. So please help me kick it into high gear. I will be on the ballot in November. That's not even in question. The question is, how effective will we be as a campaign if we miss these opportunities because we're not on the ballot and people don't want to allow us these opportunities unless they know we're on the ballot. So let's get on the ballot. Let's get it done. And then we'll keep working just as hard. I will keep working just as hard just on, actually attempting to win the election rather than just trying to get into the election. I think the world of you guys, and I'm really grateful. And to the folks who are going to watch this later who weren't able to be here for the live, I regret that I have to cut it short, but I have other duties, and I think the world of y'all. Thank you very much. Let's dance the West Virginia Ballot Ballet.